Let's go.
Brawlers9901 asks, what is your favourite fighting game? I'd say easily would be Super Smash Bros. Melee. The game is really tight, it's so addictive, and I've poured so many hours into it. I've wasted so much of my life playing that game. It was a good game, so it's not exactly a waste of time. Brawl was a great game, but it was a lot slower in how it played, so I don't really enjoy it quite as much as Melee, but it's a good game, you know. It's a huge game, but you know, it's a good game. I still think the Smash Bros. Series is the best series for fighting games, because, well, it's one of the most marketable series of fighting games anyway, because it's got the most famous characters in video games in one small package of a game, so it's huge. There are other really good series like BlazBlue, Mortal Kombat, stuff like that. I still prefer Smash Bros. It's just glorious. OmegaSpeedBuster asks, what were your first thoughts about the Gaming Family channel? This is a good one. My initial thoughts were kind of, sort of, why? I mean, I liked the idea, but I didn't think it would have enough support to go anywhere with it. And that's kind of true, but not as much as I initially thought. We got one collab countdown out, but that required a huge amount of effort, and kind of I ended up editing quite a lot of that, so well, there we go. I'm not taking credit for it because it was a very big effort from everybody else, but it'd be nice if they could do it without me, if you know what I mean by that. I have other stuff to do. For now, I'd say the channel kind of needs a bit more time, love, care, attention, that sort of thing put into it. It could be quite successful, but it just needs a certain amount of dedication applied to it. Alabzam asks, what are your thoughts on Metal Gear Rising: Revengance? Positive at the moment. I'm not really going to treat this like a Metal Gear game because it kind of barely qualifies as one. It's got Raiden in it, and that's just about it. It looks like basically no more heroes with rocket launchers, and Raiden, of course. So it doesn't really follow the subtle espionage, secret, intriguing nature of what the Metal Gear series did so well. So it's part of the series, but it's not going to feel like a part of the series. A bit like what I guess DMC 5 is going to be like. People have complained that it disgraces the series, but as long as it's a good game in its own right, I don't really care what series it comes from, basically. Besides, it will be interesting to play Raiden as what I thought he should be like in MGS2, because MGS2 was quite a while ago, and I think it needs an update of how him as a character plays, because he's a ninja, so it'd be nice to actually see him do well. RedLol123 asks, do you like Half-Life? Well, since the last Q&A video, the Super Eric Warshot 2 gave me Half-Life 2 as a gift on Steam, and he's now my best friend, kind of like ever, and he can have my children if he wants. The game was good, but not quite as good as I thought it would be. I know a lot of people who think it's the greatest, well, not quite the greatest game, but absolutely love the game to pieces. And while there are a lot of aspects I do love, it's not quite the knockout blow that I expected. Josh Scorcher described it as overrated, and I can honestly see why. I mean, there's parts of the games I love to pieces, but there's also parts that I just can't stand. I mean, the vehicle sections, oh my god. really bad, really bad. So, yeah, Half-Life 2, good game, just not brilliant. Mark Hest 1 asks, can you answer this question? No, I cannot, sorry. jamiefodonnell asks, who's your favourite Team Fortress 2 class? Well, now I've had an opportunity to play it, I suppose I should say, shouldn't I? It kind of fluctuated all over the place for a while. To start with, my mains were Sniper and Medic, because they offer huge payoffs for very little input. You can just, you know, take someone out in one shot with a Sniper, you can follow someone around with a Medic and get loads of assists and well, not kills, but loads of assists and captures and everything. So, I would say they're quite easy classes. But recently, I've been getting better at the likes of Pyro, Demo Man, and especially Spy. In the early stages, I had no idea how to play Spy. Well, I sort of did, you backstab people, but I had no idea how to do it properly. And I just can't tell you how addictive Spy is to use. I was backstabbing this engineer and sapping his buildings, and just sort of disappearing for a bit. And I just kept repeating this over and over again before he eventually left the server. And that is just stupidly satisfying when that happens. There's no feeling like it. Ican King asks, will you update your top 10 Legend of Zelda games list to include Skyward Sword? Eventually, yes, I will. I do plan on remaking the video, especially considering that it was my first proper countdown and was just made up of just some music videos and a bit of text. So now, as you can see, I've come quite far since then, so it might be worth a go. As for the placement of Skyward Sword, I guess you'll just have to wait until the video comes out before you can find out about that. So, many people have asked me in many sorts of medium, are you a brony? No, not really. Loads of people have asked me this question, so I guess it's about time I answered it. I watched a couple of episodes of My Little Pony and I found it pretty good, but not great. I mean, the animation is brilliant and some of the characters have interesting personalities, but I just never found it as appealing as other people. I'm not a brony, or an anti-brony, or whatever they're called, I don't even know. I just sort of shrug it off and appreciate the smaller aspects of the show. For example, Josh Scorcher, his reviews of the show, you know, even though I haven't got the biggest interest in the show, it's Josh Scorcher's personality that makes me watch it. So, you know, there we go. Mario G-Man25 asks, what do you think of the Yogscast? I really like them. Not only are they fantastically British, but they have a wonderfully entertaining personalities. Their release schedule is very consistent, and they rarely leave a project to die, so they always finish things. If I'm honest, they're kind of what I aspire to turn my channel into, sort of less about the Minecraft and more the dedication they show, and the humour, you know, because you can't forget that humour. It's really funny, I mean seriously. Master Harrelus asks, who would you like to see in No More Heroes 3? More than anything, something new. Suda has already talked about the game and how Travis Touchdown won't be the main protagonist because he's just so damn developed, basically. So there's already going to be a new protagonist. Who would I like to see? Probably Henry, I guess, because there's a lot surrounding him that isn't really explained, and he kind of disappears at the end of Desperate Struggle. Other than that, though, just more ridiculous bosses and less playing as Shinobu, because Shinobu's pretty shit. If they can deliver that, I honestly won't think twice about buying it. Also, another boss based on music like Margaret Moonlight. That'd be pretty cool. Pike Productions asks, what are your plans on a future career? I would be the happiest camper in the world, the happiest person ever to have been on this whatever, if I was involved in music in some form or another. Probably not teaching, that'd be dodgy. I'd love to write music for games or sort of TV adverts or something like that, but if not, I'd love to work in the music industry, as that's something that interests me greatly. The likelihood is that I won't be making videos like this forever, but if I could make videos for something like advertising or whatever, I don't even know what I could do with that, that would make me pretty happy as well.